And Ron Paul has now put out a statement yesterday. In fact, guys, print that again. Ron Paul says Sanders sold out is the article. I know you printed it for me, but I can't find it here. I want to read his statement. He said Bernie Sanders completely sold out, and this is a whitewash. And so when Grayson runs around, he's showing his true colors saying, we beat the Fed. That's a load of baloney.
Well, he thinks that in the Joint Committee that they're going to be able to add amendments. And it's possible, but not really probable. But we'll see. I wish him the best, Grayson. And is it phony baloney? We'll find out when we get there. What are the chances of winning? Very small. Where do we go from here? You'll see other terrorist attacks in the market. There's no question. This was a Goldman, Morgan, Deutsche Bank, Citigroup, HSBC attack. They knew exactly what was going on. I mean, on this program, I told you that I knew that all of that group were super long the dollar between 74 and 76 on the USDX. It's now trading at 86, and they're long. And their leverage is probably 100 to 1. They're making gazillions of dollars because they knew that that was going to happen in Europe because they planned it that way. And it's the same thing when the market dropped and everybody got wiped out of their stop-loss positions. They turned around and brought the market right back 700 points. Who did that? The same people who took it down in behalf of the United States government and the Federal Reserve so that Congress wouldn't even think of not doing what they were told.
So where is all this going? What's the next phase? Where do you see it breaking out next? How will they respond?
Well, I think the market's going down. And I think they're going to allow it to go down. Not precipitously, but like you throw a flat rock in the water, and as it goes down, it ladles back and forth until it hits the bottom. And that's the approach they're going to take. And in the markets, they've got to take them down. They can't maintain them at the levels that they're at. And so where's the Dow going to go? It went from 11,200. It's 10,600. It was down 300 points today, earlier, when we started this program 45 minutes ago. And now it's off 199 points.
And they said, we need 156 billion, we need 600 billion, we need $1 trillion by Monday. Then Tuesday they said a trillion is not enough. You know, the trillion, Europe loses its balance. I mean, this is unraveling quickly.
It is. It really is. And as I said, the thing that people aren't thinking about in Europe is Germany. Another thing they're not thinking about financially and economically is Russia. And I think you're going to see real trouble in Europe, not only on the people who are receiving funds, who are going to say, we don't want to get bailed out. And then there's people who are being forced, the citizens of the other countries. And don't forget, it's not just Europe. The IMF represents, 150 countries. They're all paying. You know, it's just like, give them a can of gasoline and a match, and, let's turn the world into a conflagration economically and financially. And that's what they're doing. It's to create chaos, and out of that, create a new world order.
Well, you're absolutely right. And now we hear Israel primed for war on Iran. Netanyahu deputy says, that's Reuters. Russia warns U.S. against unilateral Iran sanctions, which Ron Paul has said is an act of war. Just so much is going on. Separately, I want to get into the war situation in a minute and then go to calls because, again, a war, as we know, always comes in the middle of one of their takeovers because it makes everybody rally around the government even though they're raping them. This is from the Daily Paul and other publications. It says, video update from Dr. Paul. Sanders sold out on audit the Fed amendment. Here's a transcript of it. Bernie Sanders has sold out and has sided with Chris Dodd to gut the audit the Fed in the Senate. His compromise is what the administration and banking interests want. They'll allow the TARP and the TALF to be audited, but no transparency or monetary policy decisions, discount window operations, or agreement with foreign central banks. We need to take action to stop this. That's Ron Paul 2 days ago. I just wanted to go back over that. So just absolute disgusting behavior going on in the Congress. I mean, it's us or them. Either we get these banks out of our lives and under control, or they're going to take everything over. And we now see that, and they're laughing at us, saying the good times are over. Ha, ha, ha. It's totally sickening. Let's go to some calls for Bob Chapman. Jim in Oregon, you're on the air.
Great job, Alex. What one thing can the American people do to agitate, or what one policy should they agitate for to try and stop these bankers?
Bob?
Well, I think you can go to your congressman and let them know you know what they're doing in siding with the bankers and, voting TARP in and things like that. But the best way is to kick them all out of Congress in the next election. And, there's probably half the House seats that belong to people who are getting paid off by the banking and Wall Street cabal. They're up for grabs easy. But, if you work hard at it and you let the people know, we could probably get new people. Doesn't matter who they are. Hopefully they're conservative, whatever party they're in. We got to get them in there, because even if they want to buy them off, it's going to cost them a lot of money, and it's going to take them at least a year to be able to force them one way or the other to go back and do what the bad guys that were in there get kicked out for.
That's right. It takes time. And let me add a caveat to this. And Ron Paul said this. It's in my film Matrix of Evil, back in 2003. They're going to implode the economy by design to bring in their world government. And the same banks that have engineered this will then pose as the saviors. We're in a race that during the crisis period, we educate enough people beforehand and during the crisis to understand that the banks engineered this, which is in the Goldman Sachs emails, so that we can come in with our real constitutional solution. So the average yuppie isn't laughing and sucking their thumb as much as usual and acting cool and arrogant. They're now finally kind of listening. So you got to say, listen, I know you're slack-jawed and think you're cool and you think it's, weak to care about America and be involved. But you better forget your basketball finals for a little while. You've been lied to. They are going to implode the economy further. We are in a depression. This is all a fraud. The New World Order's real. You better get up off your fat patoot. Now, they're still going to laugh at you publicly because they have a mental illness of weak people. They believe if they laugh at something, it gives them power over it. But once they're really hurting bad later, those seeds you planted in their brain are going to sprout. We'll be right back.